percent. The Nasdaq Composite Index was down 3% today, down 343 points. S&P down 78, a drop of 2%. Dow Industrials down 491, a decline of 1.6%. 10-year yield 3.18%. Spot gold down 0.2%, 18.19 the ounce. While West Texas Intermediate crude oil was up 1.9%, 111.69 for a barrel of WTI. Recapping, 10-year yield 3.18%. S&P down 2% today, down 78 points. I'm Charlie Pellet, and that is the Bloomberg Business Flash.
All right, Charlie, appreciate that update. Well, earlier this month, we noted that the food truck startup Wonder, although I'm not sure that that's quite the exact perfect description, but we'll get into that in just a moment. It is led by Dex.com founder Mark Laurie. It has raised $350 million, bringing its total fundraising haul to just under $1 billion in a market where checks are getting harder to come by. It's been, we know, a very volatile market. Latest funding raise giving Wonder a $3.5 billion valuation, according to people familiar with the matter. So we wanted to get an idea of a little bit more about what this company is all about and what they're going to do with all that money, Tim.
We got the CEO of Wonder, Scott Hilton, joining us on Zoom from Parsippany, New Jersey. Also the former chief revenue officer of the U.S. e-commerce at Walmart. Scott, great to have you with us. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here. Okay, so Carol lives in New Jersey. I don't know if she lives in a part of New Jersey where Wonder operates, but it's based in New Jersey right now. And she described it as a food truck. And at its core, that's what it is, but it's also so much more. So how would you describe Wonder?
Yeah, so food truck, that's kind of the first thought that people have, but it really is something completely different. So what we are is it's on-demand dining, so customers can order via an app. They have access to a range of restaurants from everyday food, pizza, burgers, all the way up to fine dining like Bobby Flay steak. As soon as they order, a mobile restaurant will show up at their location and cook that food hot and fresh right there at their location and serve it to their door. So within minutes after ordering, they can enjoy really a restaurant quality meal wherever they are, at their home or at the park or at work.
I'm so in after getting delivery after delivery that's cold and not at all, even if it's from a great restaurant, it just doesn't fly. So tell us about the growth that you're seeing. Give us an idea of the metrics. Who are your customers, where you're seeing the growth, and what you want to do with all this money.
Yeah, so we serve 22 towns now in New Jersey, about 132,000 households, and it ranges in all demographics, from something that looks more middle America all the way up to a little bit wealthier towns. All those towns are growing. Customers have been really going crazy for this. We have really high scores, and it is truly a great experience. It was one of the reasons that the company was founded is looking at the delivery platforms, Uber Eats, DoorDash, etc. They were growing like crazy before the pandemic, but the customer experience was really lacking. There was the quality of the food problem, cold or kind of moist food as it seems on the way to the customer, as well as just having access to this great restaurant. So that's really at the core of what we're trying to solve, and it's working in all segments. And so we're continuing to expand. Most of the money that we've raised is going into the mobile restaurants themselves, the fleet.
Okay.
As well as just covering normal operating expenses. But the bulk of the money is for expanding and going and using it for the mobile restaurants.
One thing that caught my eye, though, in reading about this a few weeks ago in the Wall Street Journal is that Mark Laurie said to the Wall Street Journal that the company aims to have a national footprint by 2035. That's many years away. And I mean, you've worked at several different companies in that time period, and the number of years that it would have. I think Mark has probably started and sold 2 different companies for hundreds of millions of dollars and several $billion in that 13 years that it would take to get to 2035. Why such a long period of time?
Well, we're starting here in the Northeast, in the tri-state area, and we'll, for the time being, be focused there as we grow out. But very quickly, how we've structured this model is we've been building out the infrastructure. It actually has taken us years to get the method figured out of how to do this. We prep and par cook our food in fairly large-scale central kitchens. That food is sent out in a cold chain to this fleet. We can do that in parallel, in many cities. So as we continue to grow, we'll be opening up different areas simultaneously across the country. But it just takes time to kind of get that infrastructure going before we, start to scale beyond the Northeast.
What's the trickiest part of it? Is it people? You talked about this infrastructure that, takes a while to set up. What is the trickiest part?
There's no single thing that stands out. If you asked me that same question maybe 2 years ago, it was, could we actually create this incredible food in this process? And the answer is hands down, yes, we can do it. And so after that, it's really just more kind of vanilla flavored execution. It's not to say that there's not a lot of hard parts, but we have a fleet production capability. We build these mobile restaurants, upfit them ourselves, as well as outside parties do it for us. Scaling the food production, hiring the labor. So far, we haven't bumped into anything that really stands out. It's just a bunch of little things.
What about prices? It sounds like something great to do for a party, but how much does it cost to bring a Bobby Flay steak to your house?
Yeah, so Bobby Flay that's our most expensive restaurant. That's definitely a fine dining experience, and we see people doing it as a special occasion. For example, Bobby Flay steak went crazy on Valentine's Day, but we serve all the way down to sort of, like I said at the beginning, burgers, pizza. One of our restaurants, a couple of our restaurants, we serve family style. It's even more affordable. We have 2 currently, and we're going to be offering more. But one of is taqueria. It's effectively a taco bar. You can, it feeds a family of 4 to 5. You pick your proteins, like carnitas or chicken, you side of rice, side of beans, corn. You can add on guacamole. So that goes for $50. So it's very affordable.
That is
50 per meal or 50 for the whole truck?
50 for it's a family style, so it's 4 to 5 for $50. Yeah.
Wow.
That's pretty amazing. We're going to talk a little bit more about it because I'm more curious because I know the food industry, sometimes the margins are so slim, so I'm curious about how that's playing out. We're in Smack with Scott Hilton, he's Chief Executive Officer and former Chief Revenue Officer of the U.S. e-commerce business at Walmart. He's with us from Parsippany. Our conversation will continue. Tim Stanovic, Carol Master, this is Bloomberg Business Week.
In case you missed it, our latest Business Week podcast features Bill Burkhardt, the CEO of the Investment Integration Project, on providing funding and support to undervalued business leaders in the LGBTQ+ community. Download it now at Bloomberg.com.
On Bloomberg Daybreak.
This is Karen Moskow.
And I'm Nathan Hager. Join us tomorrow morning on Bloomberg Daybreak.
We wrap up results of some of the key primary races with Greg Valliere of AGF Investments.
Plus the very latest from the NATO summit in Madrid.
Bloomberg Daybreak. Weekday mornings at 5, followed by Bloomberg Surveillance at 7 on Bloomberg 1130, the Bloomberg Business app, and BloombergRadio.com. Bloomberg, the world is listening.
Hey, I'm Andy. If you don't know me, it's probably because I'm not famous. But I did start a men's grooming company called Harry's. The idea for Harry's came out of a frustrating experience I had buying razor blades. Most brands were overpriced, overdesigned, and out of touch. At Harry's, our approach is simple. Here's our secret. We make sharp, durable blades and sell them at honest prices for as low as $2 each. We care about quality so much that we do some crazy things, like buy a world-class German blade factory. Obsessing over every detail means we're confident in offering a 100% quality guarantee. Millions of guys have already made the switch to Harry's, so thank you if you're one of them. And if you're not, we hope you give us a try with this special offer. Get a Harry's starter set with a 5-blade razor, weighted handle, shave gel, and a travel cover, all for just $3 plus free shipping. Just go to harrys.com and enter 3355 at checkout. That's harrys.com, code 3355. Enjoy.
Do you know what people see when they Google you? Search engines don't always get it right, and when they're wrong, it's your reputation on the line. So what do you do when you don't agree with your search results? Call Reputation Defender at 800-401-6681. Reputation Defender is one of the most trusted names in online reputation repair. We have over a decade of experience in fixing people's search results, and we can help you too. Using cutting-edge approaches, Reputation Defender pushes unflattering information down to lower pages of your search results, where few people ever look. We also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, letting you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. You owe it to yourself to take control with Reputation Defender. Visit www.reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 for free advice on your situation. That's 800-401-6681. Here at Total Wine & More, you'll love what you find, especially our totally low prices.
That rosé you recommended was a hit. What should we try for more fun in the sun this weekend?
This silver tequila makes a refreshing tequila sunrise.
Perfect. Wow, that price is refreshing too.
Love what you find. Only at Total Wine and More. With the lowest prices in the tri-state area. Drink responsibly, B21.
Dear Calvary Hospital, there is no better caregiver on earth than our mom, Mary Houlihan. She taught us the value of our family, our Catholic faith, and caring for those in need. After raising the 6 of us, Mom went back to college and earned her doctoral degree in social work from Fordham University. Then she volunteered at her beloved Calvary Hospital. There she witnessed tender love and care for end-of-life patients as never before. During her final days, Calvary was there for her, making Mom's last journey peaceful and pain-free. She received the dignity and compassion she so greatly deserved. God bless you, Calvary Hospital, the Houlihan family.
This is Frank Calamari, president of Calvary Hospital. To learn more about our unique Calvary care, call us at 718-518-2000. Calvary Hospital is where life continues.
It's 4:29 on Wall Street. Time for drive time traffic. We do it every 15 minutes right here on Bloomberg Radio. Ed Kalegi, the Cross Bronx Expressway. What's going on?
Cross Bronx has been a source of trouble all through the day. Tim, ever since this morning, there's new trouble northbound at Castle Hill Avenue. A broken down car has the right lane blocked, and this down compounds the issue at the inbound George Washington Bridge, 10 up, 10 down, and at the lower level of the inbound George Washington Bridge, there still sits a broken down car mid-span, the right lane blocked. Quite a heavy ride both sides of town trying to get up to the bridge. A lot of folks tried to get out early today. The west side very heavy S from about, well, looks like mid-60s and towards the mid-110s. But after that, then it's not too bad. If you can sneak on the Henry Hudson after about 120th Street, you'll save time because the Harlem River Drive is quite slow. Outbound Holland Tunnel a half hour, outbound Lincoln Tunnel also 1/2 hour. Belt Parkway westbound Erskine Street, an accident there now blocks 2 lanes. And it's a 35-minute ride to the Van Wyck. Bloomberg 1130, 3-day weather. Tonight clear. Lows drop down to the mid-60s. Tomorrow a sunny day. Highs around 85. Thursday sunshine, warmer. Some may call it hot. High near 90. Friday partly sunny. High once again near 90. Right now in Central Park, mostly sunny. 79 degrees with the best ride. 8 in out of the city. I'm Ed Kalegi, Bloomberg 1130. Bloomberg Business Week.
Broadcasting live from the Bloomberg Interactive Broker Studio in New York. Bloomberg 1130 to Washington, D.C. Bloomberg 99.1 to Boston. Bloomberg 106.1 to San Francisco. Bloomberg 960 to the country. Sirius XM Channel 119. And around the globe, the Bloomberg Business app and BloombergRadio.com. This is Bloomberg Business Week.
All right, Tim, full transparency, I just joined the app for Wonder because I'm just so curious about
Well,
this.
I asked Ari to go get me a snack because I was hungry thinking about a Bobby Place steak.
Oh my God, I've been going over the app. The food looks amazing. We're going to come back to the CEO of Wonder, Scott Hilton. He'll be back with us in just a moment. In the meantime, back to your top business stories and the market day, the close with Charlie Pell.
Hi, thank you very much. And here's what's going on. Carol Master waiting for a rolling bar to show up to my house. That would be a lot of fun. We've got the Dow, the S&P, NASDAQ lower today. A sell-off in big tech weighing heavily on stocks. Gains in the broader market sputtered as a report showed Americans grew more downbeat about the outlook for the economy. Victoria Green is Chief Investment Officer at G Squared Private Wealth. Right here on Bloomberg Business Week, she told us, do not misinterpret the Federal Reserve.
They're not dovish, they're hawkish. They're definitely hawkish, and they're going to remain hawkish until inflation's under control. And so the only thing I think that matters is unless the liquidity locks up in the bond market like it did in 2020, the Fed put's not happening to equities. It's not coming. It's not, this isn't Santa Claus coming down the chimney. The Fed's not rescuing the stock market just because the stock market's going down.
And today we saw the stock market go down with Dow dropping 491 points, down 1.6%. The S&P 500 down 78, a drop today of 2%. NASDAQ down 343, a drop there of 3%. 10-year up 5/30 seconds, 10-year yield 3.17%. Spot gold 18.19 the ounce, a drop of 0.2%. West Texas Intermediate crude up 2.2%, 112.01 a barrel on WTI. After the bell, we learned that Pinterest co-founder and CEO Ben Silbermann will step down from his post effective tomorrow and will be replaced by Bill Reddy, an executive at Alphabet's Google. Shares little change right now after hours. Progress Software down by about 3% post-market trading after forecasts for third quarter adjusted EPS and adjusted revenue fell short of the average analyst estimates. Again, recapping, S&P 500 index down 78 today, down 2%, 10-year yield 3.17%. I'm Charlie Pellis, and that is a Bloomberg Business Flash.
All right, Charlie, thank you so much. It's official. I'm on the wait list, and Wonder's going to let me know when they are near my home. So I'm kind of looking forward to that.
Just ask Scott when it's going to be. He'll tell you now.
All right, Scott Hilton, Chief Executive Officer at Wonder, former Chief Revenue Officer of U.S. e-commerce at Walmart. When will you come to Jersey City?
Can't give a specific date, but it will be probably in the next couple of years. Right now we're headed north to Bergen County. We're right now in the Westfield area, serving 22 towns around there, and then we're headed north.
All right, well, that's where I grew up, in Bergen County. I get it. Like, I was thinking about how this works. It's probably easier, right, for your trucks to pull up somewhere where they can easily park. You've also got a neighborhood that's, to be fair, a wealthier neighborhood where they can do this. I mean, I'm curious about the metrics and how you kind of price this all out. You know, how do you cover costs, and where do you kind of, you know, where does profit come from ultimately? Is it just building it up on volume? How does this play out?
No, actually, in this business, the margins in food are really, really good. Very different than say, retail. When you're looking at, say, a typical restaurant, you know, they're looking at a food cost that's maybe 25%, in some cases 30%. So you're starting off with really good margins. And we're verticalized. We own this whole thing. We're developing the processes for the food. We prep it in our own facility. So we've got a nice, healthy, juicy variable profit, and that's how we get it to work. It's very different than if you're a logistics player like a DoorDash or Uber Eats, where you're really just trying to take a cut, or even in retail, you know, you're not getting as healthy a margin as you see in the food industry. And by the way, you see that in the multiples that restaurant chains, the big restaurant chains get. They're typically 3x multiple on their top line, versus retailers that typically get 1x. Companies like Amazon obviously get a little bit of an extra kicker there because they're the platform play, you know, high growth. But restaurant chains have really, really healthy margins.
I'm just going to tell you, we have a restaurant row in downtown Jersey City, and it's all about restaurants, and there's lots of space, and it would be a perfect fit.
No, tonight, Carol?
I'm not trying to sell you or anything.
Hey, Scott, Scott, it's interesting. I wonder what the competitive moat here is. What if somebody's listening in California right now and says, hey, this is a great idea. We know that Wonder's not going to be here, you know, for 5-10 years. I'm going to start doing this. Why won't they? Why won't they succeed like you?
Yeah, well, we may be in California before 10 years, but the reality is we've been at this for years and have spent an enormous amount of energy. It's definitely not for the faint-hearted. We have to deconstruct every single dish and get them to work in this process. And getting them to work means having amazing, amazing food quality, but also being able to serve it at the speed that supports the profitability, because we definitely want to move food through the mobile restaurant in a fast pace so we can get on to the next customer.
What did you learn from your e-commerce experience, whether it's Walmart or elsewhere, that applies to what you're doing now? Or what you're doing, do you kind of throw out the old rules completely?
Well, in every situation, you really have to tailor it to what's going on and what the business is. There's some general rules of thumb that always apply, is making sure that you, first of all, have a good strategy, in terms of being able to execute on it and having economics work out. But after that, it's really getting the right team assembled. We've got some of the best team members that have stayed with us from company to company, that we've been on this journey, as well as making sure you got the right structure so the teams work well together. Every team member needs to be in the right position, and that's the only way you can really scale and grow it quickly. You have to get that foundation right first.
Okay, so speaking of scaling and growing quickly, we got to ask, Mark Laurie sold Jet.com years ago to Walmart for $3.3 billion. Before that, Quidzy, that diapers.com, to Amazon for $500 million. Before that, he had a company he sold to Tops for a few $million before the year 2000. What's the future for Wonder?
Well, look, this really has unlimited potential. We're not planning to sell this thing. It's got a lot of runway, a lot of upside, which is why we're able to raise that most recent round. There's a lot of runway left, so we're going to build it up.
All right, 30 seconds. What keeps you up at night?
I sleep pretty well.
Oh, come on. Come on. All right, if you had to pick
All that
one
what he's
thing.
having.
You had to pick one thing, and we've only got about 20 seconds left. What would it be, though? You talk about workers. They're not cheap nowadays. Just quickly.
No, they're not. They're not. And it's fortunate why we have the margins we pay really well. And it's a fun job. The people that operate our mobile restaurants get to be, run their own restaurant and serve customers. It's kind of fun. We, as leaders of the company, we do a lot of ride-alongs with them during the evening to see what's going on. It's kind of a fun role.
We should do a ride-along, Carol, one time.
We'll do a ride-along with that.
Yeah, food included.
Yeah, I was just going to say the doggy bags must be pretty impressive. Come back to us, Scott. Let us know how things are going, and especially, I'm going to wait for that email about when you guys are in Jersey City. Scott Hilton, CEO at Wonder, joining us via Zoom from Parsippany.
And then you're going to invite me over for dinner that night. That's going to be the finally masterpiece tonight, okay?
A road trip.
All right, let's go to Washington, D.C. now for a check latest world and national news. Here's Nancy Lyons.
Thanks, Tim. House members on the January 6th committee heard testimony from someone who was with former President Trump during the rally ahead of the insurrection. Cassidy Hutchinson was an aide to Chief of Staff Mark Meadows and told lawmakers Trump was upset that the crowd was not larger and was told that people didn't want to go through the magnetometers, or mags, another name for metal detectors.
I was in the vicinity of a conversation where I overheard the president say something to the effect of, I don't effing care that they have weapons. They're not here to hurt me. Take the effing bags away. Let my people in. They can march to the Capitol from here. Let the people in.
Hutchinson says Trump wanted to go to the Capitol and even grabbed the steering wheel and had an altercation with the security detail. Health and Human Services Secretary Javier Becerra says his department will work to assure abortion availability after Friday's Supreme Court decision overturning Roe v. Wade. Becerra